Hi guys, it's Jaden, and today we're going to talk about chapters 1 to 6 in A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. Linda Sue Park has won a Newbery Medal for a single shard, which I do a book club about, so I hope that you check that one out. Also, Linda Sue Park has made many other books, and because, yes, she has made many other books. I love them all, so I hope that you love them too, okay? I think another one of her books is Prairie Lotus, and then I think she's also written about 2 books, maybe 3, maybe 1 in the 39 Clues series. I did not do a book club about those, but I might be doing them, okay guys? Anyway, excuse me, let's start with this amazing novel. This is my second time reading the book. I love this book. It really inspired me, and it really just, yeah, so I really like this book. Hope that you do like too, okay? So, first of all, before we talk about the chapters, let's talk about the format, right? So, there are 2 kids in this story, right? One is Naya, another is Salva, and we notice that Naya's story is considerably shorter than Salva's, right? So, anyway, let's start, okay? Okay, so, I know it is pretty hard to, keep on switching, but we are going to keep on switching. Okay, so do you agree with Naya that going is easy, but going back, is not easy? And what do you think about the journey that she's taking? Do you think it's hard or not? Okay, now we're going to Salva, because there weren't a lot for Naya in the chapter 1, right? Okay, so do you think that it was right for Salva to not listen to the teacher? And do you think that Salva is unlucky or not? What do you think of the fact that Salva's father has not just 1 wife, 2, maybe 3, maybe 4? How do you think that Salva feels about this? And how do you think that Salva feels every time they get a yummy ground squirrel or rabbit? And then there was gunfire, right? Really scary. It was like crack, pop, 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 crack, ah, 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 right? How do you think that Salva felt about this? If you had been a boy in that schoolroom, how would you have felt about this? Would you have panicked, or would you have just taken this in stride and just leaned down and just ran into the bush? And do you think that Salva will ever see his parents or his family again? And also, what do you think about the war that's happening right now? And how do you think that Salva felt about running away? And if you had been Salva, would you have ran away, or would you have gone towards your village? Okay, chapter 2. So we're going to go back to Naya, right? So how do you think that she felt about the thorn? And what is one of the things, could you relate to that? And what do you think it sort of means in Naya's life? What do you think it sort of represents in Naya's life? Well, this was a pretty hard one, but I think it represents that her life is really hard, right? She has to travel, there's thorns, right? So I think that her life is really hard. And Salva's now, at first it was pretty good, now it is, right? Let's keep on going. How did you like about, the gunfire and the booms, right? How did you like that? And did you like it? And I also wanted to read a sentence. It said, overhead, a jet plane veered away like a sleek, evil bird. What do you think about that? Did you like that? And also, if you had been Salva, how happy do you think you would have been to to see some other people, you know, from Lunarik. And then they reached a rebel camp. Do you think that Salva was scared or not? And if you had been someone in the group, would you have been scared or not? And also, do you think that Salva is worthy of a man or not? And also, what did you think about the people leaving him and leaving Salva? And do you think that Salva would have slowed them down or not? Also, I wanted to ask you, do you think that it was, how would you feel if you had been Salva? And also, I wanted to ask you, how do you think that Salva's feeling about not seeing his family? What are a few describing words or adjectives that you could, adjectives that you could use? Okay, so what do you think about all the water that Naya is drinking, good or bad? And do you like that there's a lot of life near the water hole? And also, excuse me. Yes, I just wanted to ask you that. And now we're going to go back to Salva, right? Because Naya's part of the book is not very long, right? And then Salva's is, right? Okay. So, I wanted to ask you about the woman, the old woman. What do you think about this old woman's kindness? And also, how do you think that Salva felt about the old woman leaving? And do you think that the old woman was selfish and mean when she said that with Salva that her life would be in danger? And do you think that, did you think that there was a chance that his family would be along the Dinka men? Okay, back to Naya. What do you think about Naya's routine? And do you like it 1 to 10? 10 is awesome, 1 is horrible, like so horrible. Well, I don't really like it. It's boring and there's not really much to it, right? Okay, we're going back to Southern Sudan, 1985. Okay, so what I wanted to ask you was, what do you think about the Dinka people, right? Do you think that it was a good choice that Salva they allowed Salva to come along? And also, what do you think about the group? And do you think that Salva should go back to his village now? And also, what do you think about honey, right? How do you like honey? And if you have been, somebody who lived in Africa, which skill would you want most if you had to survive? So Buksa, I think, was a Churchill, right? And they had this honey guide, right? They could track down the honey guide. Well, if you had to have one skill that you would use to survive and you were a native person in Africa, then what would you do? I personally would do, I would do really fast reflexive movements, especially for fishing, so I could just fish with a spear. I know it's a little, not very realistic, but Okay, so what do you think about the Nuer tribe? And also, what similarity did you notice between Salva and Naya? And also, I wanted to ask you about Naya's life. What do you think about Naya's life? Because we learn a little bit about Naya's life more, right? In chapter 5. Okay, do you think that all the bee stings were worth it or not? And also, what do you think about Salva's new friend? And do you think that Mariel, what is a good thing about friends in your opinion? And do you think that how do you think that this will help Salva in this journey? And also, are you scared of lions or not? I was just really curious. And also, I wanted to ask you about something else, and it's about Ethiopia, right? If you had been Salva, would you have just turned back, or would you have not gone to Ethiopia or not? And how do you think that Salva felt about going to Ethiopia? Now I have a question, and it is, have you ever been to Ethiopia? And also, do you know anything about Ethiopia? Unfortunately, I don't, but I am going to research about Ethiopia after reading this book. Okay, so then the last word in chapter 5 is this: Salva. And it's not Salva that's speaking, it's somebody else. And this person knows Salva. Who did you predict that this person was going to be? Do you think that it was Salva's mother, or one of his brothers, or his father, or, you know? But let's go back to Naya, and we're going to chapter 6, our last chapter, okay? So, if you have been Naya's mother, do you think that Naya's mother should be afraid, or do you think not, and that they won't be that it won't be a problem? And also, do you think that it's smart for them to hunt when there are other tribes that might kill them? Let's go back to Salva, okay? Okay, so Uncle, were you surprised about Uncle? And how do you think that Salva felt about it? Well, of course, we know that it's happy, but when I say how do you think that this guy felt about this, I'm just meaning, like, you know, adjectives to describe it, like describing words, okay? And also, I wanted to ask you, how do you think that Uncle helped Salva in the journey? And, do you think that, you know, throwing up, do you think that eating all this food and then throwing it back up, do you think that that was worth the food or not? And also, I wanted to ask you about something else, and it was when he woke up. Sorry, Salva, right? Your friend. Uncle said quietly, and then I'm sorry, and then we don't really know, right? But the last sentence of this chapter is this: a cold fist seemed to grip Salva's heart. Well, okay, so you know, how do you think that Salva felt about this? And even though we don't really know this, right? We still get the impression that, well, Mariel died, right? Or he at least got injured. And how do you think he got injured or died? We sort of get, right? Remember, this is the land of the lions. Okay, but I'm not going to spoil the whole story for you. Remember, I have read this book once before. It's an amazing book. So, I hope that you enjoy the rest of this amazing book. I think that next time we're going to do all the way to chapters 7 to 12. But before you go, I wanted to ask you some last questions. Number 1 was, how do you like this amazing book so far? And number 2 was, what was your favorite character? Number 3, what was your least favorite character? Number 4, what do you predict is going to happen next, okay? Do you think that Salva will make it to Ethiopia, or do you think he'll die? Or what twists and turns do you think that there will be while he is traveling? And sorry, I didn't keep track. But anyway, another one is, what was your favorite part in these chapters? Because it's always important to know your favorite part, because then you think about the story more and you're like, I like this part, but I didn't like this part. But because it sort of clears things out. Okay, so before we go, I wanted to ask you one last question. Oh, actually, this is a very, very bonus debating topic. I have almost never, or maybe never, put a debating topic in my classes. So I just decided that it would be fun just for this one class. And what I wanted to ask you about was, do you think, okay, not do you think, my question is, do you think that having friends, friends, do you think that they're a liability or not? Because Selva, because we don't really know that Marielle died, right? But we sort of know it in a way too, right? We sort of guess it, right? So, and then it makes Selva pretty sad, right? Maybe more afraid. So do you think that, and also you have to risk things for your friend, maybe your family, your life, so what do you think about this? This is actually a really good debating topic. There's actually an argument for each side. This would actually be really fun to do it with somebody else, but you could just argue your point by yourself, okay guys? Anyway, I hope that you had an amazing time with me and A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. Let me just tell you, this book is going to get better and better. And I really want you to check out the other books that Linda Sue Park has made. She has so much, I can't even keep track of them. All of them are amazing, okay guys? Have a great rest of your day. Hope that your friend doesn't get killed by a lion. And, well, just enjoy the book, okay guys?